Pakistan may shift to presidential system. Army chief eyes top post. Reports suggest Asim Munir could replace Zardari as president. Big voter list update coming before 2029 elections. Bihar is first. Many parties protest and go to court. Pulwama attack explosives bought on Amazon, says the Financial Action Task Force. A report warns digital platforms are being misused by terrorists. Namaskar, welcome to Hebis TV. I'm Shashira. You are watching What's Going On. There is a lot of political activity going on in Pakistan right now. Reports say that President Asif Ali Zardari may soon be asked to resign. If that happens, Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir could become the new president of Pakistan. At the same time, there are talks about changing the current parliamentary system to a presidential system, which would give more power to the president. This change is reportedly being supported by the Pakistan Army. Army Chief Asim Munir has recently been promoted to the rare and powerful title of Field Marshal. This rank gives him lifetime military privileges, legal immunity, and protection from political interference. He is seen as the most powerful figure in Pakistan's system today. Former PM Nawaz Sharif's party, PMLN, and current PM Shahbaz Sharif are against this change. They fear that if a presidential system is implemented, Shahbaz Sharif will lose his position as Prime Minister. It could also reduce the political influence of the Sharif family and the PMLN party. President Asif Ali Zardari is reportedly unwell and may step down. But he has a condition. He wants his son Bilawal Bhutto Zardari to get an important post like Prime Minister. However, even within the PPP party, there are disagreements about Bilawal's leadership role. General Asim Munir is now influencing parliament, the judiciary, and foreign policy. His recent visits to Washington, Riyadh, and Beijing show that he is acting as Pakistan's main diplomat. Experts believe that he wants to change Pakistan's entire political system, not just become a symbolic president. This political shift is happening near the anniversary of General Zia-ul Haq's 1977 military coup, and some are calling it a soft coup. Analysts say Munir has strong control over parliament, the judiciary, and media, and could change the conditions to bring a presidential system without much resistance. Amid strong political protests in Bihar, the Election Commission of India has clarified that the ongoing voter list verification process is part of a nationwide campaign, not limited to one state. The commission said officials will go door to door to verify voter details and ensure that only Indian citizens are included in the list. The goal is to remove any illegal or non-Indian names from electoral rolls. After Bihar, the verification process will begin in states where elections are scheduled for 2026, including Assam, West Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry. Officials believe Assam and West Bengal may pose challenges due to ongoing political debates around illegal immigration from Bangladesh. In the next phase, states like Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Goa, and Manipur, all set for 2027 elections, will be covered. ECI aims to complete voter list verification in all states before the 2029 general elections, during which 17 states are also expected to hold assembly polls. The move has triggered political backlash. Opposition parties and the Association of Democratic Reforms had filed a petition in the Supreme Court saying citizenship checks are the government's job, not the election commissions. Aadhaar and ration cards, the only documents most Biharis have, are not accepted for verification. Migrant workers from Bihar will face serious challenges. On Wednesday, Bihar witnessed large-scale protests led by the Mahagathbandhan. Protesters blocked 12 national highways and stopped trains in 7 cities. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, along with Tejaswi Yadav and Pappu Yadav, joined the protest rally in Patna. The Financial Action Task Force, a global body that tracks terrorist funding, has revealed that the explosives used in 2019 Pulwama attack were bought through Amazon, the popular e-commerce website. FATF also mentioned the 2022 Gorakhnath temple attack in Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh. In that case, the attacker received money through PayPal, an online money transfer service. FATF warned that if e-commerce platforms and digital payment services fall into the wrong hands, they can become powerful tools for supporting terrorism. This warning came in a new 131-page report titled Comprehensive Update on Terrorist Financing Risk. The report explains how terror funding methods have changed in recent years. According to FATF, terror groups are now using digital payments, gaming platforms, social media, and e-commerce sites along with traditional funding methods. Their funding methods are not the same everywhere. They change depending on the country and situation. The report says that many countries still have major gaps in their ability to detect and stop terror funding. If these issues are not fixed, terrorist groups will continue to take advantage of these weaknesses. FATF explained how these groups are using the global financial system to run their operations and plan attacks. FATF has asked governments and digital companies worldwide to take strong steps to stop the misuse of platforms like Amazon, PayPal, and others. It warned that these services are becoming a new and dangerous source of support for terrorist networks. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Habis now. Namaskar.